What if Thor had been the one to snap everyone back? A debate could be had over whether Thor would die or be seriously injured if he snapped in Endgame, but in either case, he would not have been present during the Battle of Earth with Thanos and his army. Look at the toll the snap took on Banner, and out of all the Avengers, he's the most impervious to gamma radiation. Even though Thor had taken a powerful blast of energy that nearly killed him to make Stormbreaker, I think Thor would, at the very least, be too injured to do much for a long time after the snap, if he survived it. Thor's absence on the battlefield is where the story takes a lot of turns. Tony and Captain America will die before the dusted Avengers return. Steve and Peggy will never reunite. Hulk will hold off Thanos for a while, but will eventually be injured and immobile, but not dead. Ant-Man will remain small and try to think of a plan to take out Thanos, or, at the very least, he'll try to think of a way to use the quantum realm to hide the stones from him, but it will be too dangerous for him to return to normal size and try to use the time machine in his vehicle. Hawkeye will remain in the facility to guard and try to hide the gauntlet as the snapped Avengers blip back and take on Thanos' army. Unfortunately, the evil Nebula is already in there with him, and some of Thanos' beasts make it in. Like in the movie, Gamora and the good Nebula will kill the bad Nebula, but Hawkeye realizes it's too dangerous to stay in the building and runs out, hoping to get to Scarlet Witch, Hulk, or another powerful Avenger before the gauntlet is taken from him. Scarlet Witch is busy tearing Thanos apart. His army might get in some licks, but the more they tick her off, the more powerful she becomes. We already know that her rage increases her powers, and she's still angry that Vision is gone, and a few blows from Thanos' army is only going to make her stronger. She'll beat the tar out of Thanos before he can remember how he got there. Hawkeye allows Spider-Man to take the gauntlet and joins in the fight. Spider-Man runs and fights to get the gauntlet to Scarlet Witch, but eventually he is wounded in battle, out of breath, confused, and overwhelmed. He gives the gauntlet to Captain Marvel and provides her cover as she delivers it to Hulk, who has just woken up. He snaps away Thanos and his army. When the battle is over, they will either find Thor dead or very wounded. If he is dead, an Asgardian funeral will be held for him, similar to the funeral that Asgard held for his mother. A monument will be erected in his honor in appreciation for the sacrifice he made to blip everyone back. If Thor is wounded, Doctor Strange will heal his physical wounds. Thor will retire, surrounded by his people. He will go through a long process of accepting the new reality, that he fixed what went wrong and brought everyone back, but he would mourn the additional losses he suffered when Thanos had returned, especially Captain America and Iron Man. He would retreat from society for a while, eventually finding the will to give up alcohol. He would get back in shape, and he'd finally be able to forgive himself because he'd done it. He'd brought everyone back. Years down the road, he'd be able to return to the battlefield, maybe a little sooner if a critical threat comes up that can't be won without him. And yes, maybe somehow he'd still end up teaming up with the Star-Lord. But that's just what I think. What do all of you wonderful people think would have happened if Thor had snapped instead of Hulk? As always, keep weaving the threads of your stories.